This is The Scoop for Monday.
I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines. Governor Ron DeSantis has signed a death warrant for a man convicted of killing 3 members of his estranged wife's family in 1990 in Polk County. David Pittman is scheduled to be executed on September 17th at Florida State Prison. That's according to documents posted on the Florida Supreme Court website. It would be Florida's 12th execution this year. The state has already set a modern-era record with 9 executions so far this year, and 2 more men are scheduled to be put to death by lethal injection this month. A federal judge is considering whether detainees have been denied their legal rights at a temporary immigrant detention center in the Florida Everglades. This is the second lawsuit challenging practices at the facility known as Alligator Alcatraz. Today, civil rights attorneys in Miami will ask a judge to ensure detainees have confidential access to their lawyers. They also want the judge to identify an immigration court with jurisdiction over the center. Florida officials dispute claims that attorneys have been unable to meet with their clients, noting that video conferencing and in-person meetings began in July. Civil rights attorneys counter that those meetings are restricted and are neither private nor confidential. A federal judge is expected to rule on Thursday on the lawsuit pushed by environmental groups on whether that detention center may remain open. Hurricane Erin rapidly intensified into a Category 5 hurricane Saturday morning. On Friday, Erin became the first Atlantic hurricane of the year, and just over 24 hours later, Erin became the first Category 5 storm of the year with winds of 160 miles an hour. Erin is not expected to make a U.S. landfall, but will impact East Coast Florida beaches with high surf and dangerous rip currents this week. Florida Public Radio Emergency Network meteorologist William Maxim says wind speeds inside Erin will continue to fluctuate.
Erin's winds increased over 80 miles an hour in just a day, then decreased a little bit Sunday, and that's because Erin went through an eyewall replacement cycle, and part of that process involves tightening the circulation and forcing the wind there to pick up speed in order to conserve angular momentum. Now, Erin's going to continue to pulse up and down in power and remain a major hurricane through the middle of the week, then is expected to move over cooler water.
Maxim says there will be a high risk of life-threatening rip currents today from Boca Raton north to Daytona Beach. A pilot study putting cancer survivors on the pickleball court at a Tampa YMCA showed major success for their physical and emotional well-being. WMNF's Chris Young reports the study's organizer hopes the project can expand to help more cancer survivors next year.
Nathan Parker is an assistant member of the Department of Health Outcomes and Behavior at Moffitt Cancer Center. He came up with a study called Project Rally.
Project Rally really just emerged as a result of seeing the wave of pickleball's popularity, particularly among older adults, and thinking about that as a unique and fun way to get more people engaged and active.
So we gathered 18 cancer survivors and their friends and family, and they met up to play pickleball at the YMCA Suncoast. Participants reported significant increases in physical activity. Cancer survivors on average increased their weekly moderate to strenuous physical activity by over 80 minutes. The program also increased social support, with cancer survivors reporting more companionship involving their physical activity.
A lot of the feedback we got was, can we keep this going? Can we continue? I have this group of friends that I've made.
Although the study is wrapped, Parker says a group of players still play consistently. He hopes to start another trial of the program next year at several different YMCA locations, pending grant funding. Chris Young, WMNF News.
And finally, this sad news. A local radio legend and longtime member of the WMNF family, Rob Lorei, died over the weekend. Rob was one of the founders of WMNF. He moved to Florida in 1977 to walk door to door around the Tampa Bay area with others to raise money for what would become this radio station. Rob programmed many music shows, including bluegrass and a morning show, but he was most known for producing and hosting the daytime public affairs show Radioactivity while he was news and public affairs director at WMNF. In addition to interviews with the local politicians, Rob also interviewed leaders in labor, academics, and political activists. Tributes poured in on social media. Former WMNF Assistant News Director Mitch Perry said he had such a positive impact on this community for so many years. I'm so grateful we got the chance to hang out in Ybor last month. Thunderstorms are likely this afternoon with highs in the low 90s. Tonight, a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible with overnight lows in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible, highs in the mid-90s. I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop. Recorded at WMNF Tampa.